Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's a girl IJ, and on today's episode I'll be showing you how to make NKWOBI or ISI-EWU. So here I have all my ingredients already set in its raw form before we process them, and this with me is my calabash nutmeg or ehuru and some uziza seeds. Then I have my fresh peppers, I have some crayfish, and I have my ground pepper, I have some salt, then 1 bulb of onion, I have some palm ash or ntungo, and I have my seasoning cubes. I already mashed them, and I have my potash or account or cow, however you know it, it's fine. And I have some palm oil and our major ingredient, which is our goat head. Okay, ISI-EWU. Now our NKWOBI recipe is never complete without the utazi leaves. Okay, and first thing we're going to do is go ahead and wash our goat head. Okay, then after washing it, we'll go ahead and season it up and cook. But always remember that while you're washing your goat head, in fact when you are about to buy your goat head, tell them to please bring out the brain for you, because the brain is still a major ingredient. It plays a major role while you are making your ISI-EWU. Alright, so I'm just going to carefully wash it and put it back in another nylon. Okay, so see the way I'm pampering it. You must not allow anything happen to that good brain. So in the course of our cooking, I'll explain how we're meant to use the brain. Okay, so see now I'm just going to wash it. Tie it inside a nylon, just like this. Like I said, please, you have to be really careful. Right, so now I'm just going to set it aside and focus on the head. So if you're washing your goat head, of course I added some hoofs to mine. That's the goat's legs. So if you're washing your goat head, please, you have to be really careful, because in most cases we get to see maggots and all sorts of things in the head of the goats. Alright, so you have to be really careful. So I'm just going to give that another wash, then just keep it in my pot and marinate and cook as usual. So the goat head is properly washed. I'm just going to season it with some seasoning cubes, some dried peppers, some salt, and some onions. Okay, so you can choose to cut or chop your onions however you want to. I just like to do this. I mean, it's really fast for me. So I'm just going to transfer our pot to our cooker, give it a quick stir, and add our goat brain carefully on top of it. Alright, please do not stir your goat brain while you are cooking. So now I'm just going to prepare our other dry ingredients while our goat head is cooking properly. So first thing we're going to do is grind our crayfish, to grind our ehuru and uziza and set it aside. The next thing we'll do after that are fresh peppers. So I'm just going to set all of these aside, because they play a vital role in the process of our NKWOBI making. And now I'm going to chop our onions. So for these onions, I'm going to chop it or slice it in a round form, because it's going to be for our the setting of our food. Okay, so that's going to be the last part. Then for my utazi leaves, I'm just going to go ahead and chop off the head and then give it a very thin, fine slice, just like that. Then just one of my peppers, yes, I had to omit one so that it will also serve its purpose in garnishing. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and set all of that aside, and we'll get our ash and our account, and I'm just going to pour in some water into the palm ash. That's my ntungo, then give it a quick stir, because trust me, there's a lot of sand beneath that and you don't want to eat sand when you're eating. So give it a quick stir and let it settle for a while. And that's my seasoning cubes. I'm just getting all that I'll be needing ready. So I just have my salt, my pepper, and I'm just going to go ahead and sieve my palm ash. Just look at the dirt that came out of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and sieve it twice, so that we're double sure that we're not eating dirt or sand or rubbish. Alright? So that's it for now. Just look at the way it is, and we'll set it aside and go over to the next one, our palm oil. So let's just go and check our meat to know how it is doing. Okay, now the water is dried up and we need to add in some water and check our good brain. The brain is doing totally fine, and I think we still need to leave it for a while to get completely soft or cooked. So now we're going to check it again, and I think it is time to take out our good brain. Please don't do this if you don't have the capacity to sustain heat or retain heat. Please, I'm already used to that, so that's why I can easily dip my hand in the pot. Alright, so I'm just going to turn it out into a small plate or bowl, whichever one you have is fine. You can equally do this in a mortar, but I choose to do this with my fork and a small bowl or small plate. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and mash it properly, so that we have a fine smooth paste like broth, whatever it is actually, but this is just what we're looking for. We'll have to mash it completely. Okay, so it's as soft as this, more like a pudding. So this is what we want. We set it aside and we check our meat, and it is finally cooked. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and sieve it out, take out the meat and separate it from our little stock. Now do not throw your stock away, because you're still going to use it while you are making your NKWOBI. Alright, so after taking all of that meat out, I'm just going to transfer my stock into a smaller bowl and set it aside. So here we have our meat all ready, and we'll just get a bowl because we're going to debone it. We don't want to eat. There's a lot of bone in your ISI-EWU. So please, you have to be really careful when you're doing that. You don't want to have a crack on your teeth. So I'm just going to go ahead and debone all of my meat. Okay? So I'm just going to do all of that. As you can see, you have to be very, very careful. I mean, extremely careful. So now it's time for us to go to the business of the day, and the first thing we'll do is to pour in some oil into our pot. I choose to use a pot because you definitely have to cook it later over time, and this will help. So next thing we're going to add is our palm ash liquid. Okay, so you just add it and give it a quick stir. You keep stirring, and you see that the color of the oil has begun to change. It has gone from red to orange, and that's not the consistency we want. So we're just going to keep adding until we get a lighter consistency, lighter in texture, lighter in color. All right. So if you've seen my previous video on how to make abacha, I'll just leave the link in the description box. Okay, if you've seen my previous video, you'll see how I made the abacha base. Okay, the soap base for abacha. So actually this is called ncha in Igbo land. I don't know what it's called in your language. Please let me know what it is called. Okay, please just leave it in the comment section for me. I'll be glad to learn. So we'll keep giving it a quick stir, and as you can see, it's still thick. Okay, see, it's still very, very thick, and this is not the consistency we want, obviously. So I'm just going to go ahead and add in some more ash. I'm going to now add in our potash water. So remember I said I showed you potash and the palm ash initially. So here I'm adding my potash water. Okay, So this will help brighten up the face of our our soup base, and our nkwobi base rather. And it will help it become lighter. Just look at the way it is, creamy and lighter. And this is exactly how you want the nkwobi base to be. Okay, so now we're going to go in with our special goat brain, our mashed goat brain. Okay, so make sure you put in all of it, then you give it a stir, thorough stir. I mean really thorough stir. All right, look at the color, it's getting lighter, and that's what you want. You don't want to have an nkwobi that is all red and filled with palm oil. So now I'm going to go in with some dried pepper, some salt, give it another stir. Now the essence of stirring this properly is because you want all of your ingredients to be evenly distributed. And now we're going to add in some ehuru and uziza. Remember, we grinded them, and some fresh peppers and our crayfish powder. Now I don't want to add all my crayfish yet, but over time I'll add the rest. Okay, so I'll give that another stir, and then I'll give it a taste. Remember, I always say taste your food. I'm keen on tasting your food, please, especially salt, so that you do not over put or under put your salt. All right, I think yes, this is good, but we just still have to add our seasoning. You know, we didn't add our seasoning cubes earlier, so we're just going to go ahead and add it and give it another quick stir. Another quick stir. Nice, this is good, amazing. So next thing we're going to add is our meat stock. Remember, I told you not to throw away your meat stock. Okay, so here we have our meat stock, and of course it is thickened. This is how it usually is. It's not going to be light. Make sure your meat stock is not so light. It's as thick as this. Okay, you're just going to have to let the meat dry out a little bit, so that you don't have a runny consistency of meat stock. Okay, so we're still going to give it another stir. This is nice. Just look at how beautiful this is looking. This is exactly the consistency you're looking for. It's not runny, it's not thick. And I'm just going to introduce my onions. Add in some onions, not the round ones, just maybe chopped, or any other choose to cut it is fine. And now we're adding our major ingredients. So we're just going to go in with our goat head and our goat legs, not our legs, please. So we'll give it another stir. And at this point, we have to transfer this to our cooker, okay? Because your nkwobi is not complete without cooking it. So now we're cooking it, and remember that if you start to cook and you begin to see some bubbles, please do not panic. It's totally normal. Okay, you just have to let it cook for a while so that it gets thickened. If you cook it for a while, it becomes thickened. This is totally fine. You have to cover for a minute, and then you give another stir and you take it out. Okay, this is absolutely beautiful. This is exactly what you want. You have to taste for salt one more time, so that if the salt you had put previously was not enough, you will have to add another one. Okay, so now this is the end product of our nkwobi. Okay, you see the reason why we had cut some onion rings and some utazi leaves. And please, if you enjoyed watching this video, do not forget to give me a like. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section. And please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, do well to subscribe and support your girl. Alright, thank you all for watching. I love you all. Bye.